Hello, hello, hello. It is Wednesday afternoon, and this morning we were tackling this gigantic list of strings that we have to translate. And I'm not putting any facade in front of the stream. It's going to be boring. So everyone's been warned. Welcome on the boredom train. Okay, so yeah, let's go through all of these things. Can I not click these anymore? That's not good. Uh-oh. What do you do to fix this problem? Search results. Huh. Yeah, I wonder if I just search for something else and then do this and then this and then this. Oops, that didn't work. Uh, Come on. I need the search results to actually function. Okay, now they function. But now I've got them in two different files. Oh, wait, no, but I could just... whatever. How's first already taken? Sinistello, got it. Hey, Chris. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. So you said you didn't need more excitement, Galaxy Inferno. Did something go wrong today? Or just overwhelming or what? All right, well, let's close this and just look through these things. This one's fine. This one's fine. I guess I already did all this stuff. Hi, Katso. Katso was laying on me on my break. Hi. Oh, you're very soft. Ooh, you must have just cleaned yourself. Yeah, hi. Look, there's a lap here. You could actually sit here right now. All right, rock layer, that's fine. That's presumably fine. Crop data has a display name. Oh, yeah, it does. We're probably going to need to change that too. Crop data needs functions for the display names. Food value and maturity. Okay. Yeah, we can make translate calls out of these. Food value 0. And that's value text. String dot format. And I don't know, we put this on like farm. Sure. And then the same thing here. String. Oh, maturity 0 farm maturity text. And then these harvest text as well. What is harvest text? I see. So all these plus equals we probably shouldn't be using. And click to harvest shows up when the crop is ready. I'll go take a look at that. Once again, being present. That's good. I was going to have to sue you if you weren't here. It was fine. Just had a lot of topics. First, work stress, then legal stuff related to apartment owner group. Don't know if you has something like... I'm not even going to try. I don't know what that is. And Googling it didn't help. Ah, yes. Here we go. All right. Where's the translate page button? It doesn't usually pop up. I'm not even going to try. Yeah, we're done. We're not looking at the rest of that. And then also had the online class where I try to be a helpful teacher, which always makes me feel a bit anxious and overthinking afterwards. Sorry, life info. No, I asked for it. And okay, yeah. So topics being things that happen in your life or things that students were asking about, because yeah, work stress makes it sound like this is just you were stressed at work. I want to make sure it wasn't just like students were asking you, hey, what do you do if you're stressed at work? And I keep thinking it's Friday, by the way. Do you get time off in Germany for US Thanksgiving? That might sound like a dumb question, but actually, I think some companies might just do like a global day off if they're built or if they're US based companies, and then also whatever local holidays. All right, yeah, I wanted to take a look at what this is in the game. Hang on one sec. Hang on one sec. All right, sorry about that. The cat was making a bunch of noise in the other room, and I'm like, she's gotten into something. And I think she did. There was a lid to something that had like the tiniest little food traces on it. And I think she found that lid. So I put it away. Only pops up if the concept exists in other languages. It doesn't translate to other languages. Shows the equivalent. Yeah. We don't get time off. Work for the local utility company. They don't care about you guys. Well, they should. And our turkeys. So there. Let them know. Adam's word is final. You get a day off. Okay, so here's what this looks like. I think we just keep this separate. I think forming things like this is fine. We just translate this, except for with a space. That might not work. Maybe we put this here. And then put the click to harvest text. Harvest text. Harvest text needs to be translated. This intentionally has a space on it, which translators may not know to keep. I guess we could just put an extra space in between and do that. Okay. Yeah, so that's done. Currently have some number of fish in your pond, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so string tooltip equals translate F. Oh, this is going to be a little bit more annoying than that, huh? All right, fish count, max fish, and then the formatted note. So 0, 1, and all of this turns into 2. And then the note is start a battle like so. This is going to be, we'll put this in the pond. Delete this. I'm curious what Galaxy Inferno said, but I haven't looked at the message yet. I want to make sure I'm getting all this correct. Usable TR calls. Context is the pond. And then this is the tooltip. Ooh, great. Seems to be something like homeowners. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have the equivalent of that. Once a year, all owners of apartments in one building come together to vote on common decisions and fight a bunch. Some parts of the building are owned as a group. Yep. Yeah, well, that does not sound fun. The combination of stresses that you're talking about. So I do hope that when you're celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow on your newly found day off, that you get some space from this stuff. I'm sorry. I'm only laughing because you're not getting a day off tomorrow. And if you were, then what I would say would have been sincere. But it sounds so insincere because I made him a holiday. German Thanksgiving. Except for turkey is 14 letters longer. All right, this one doesn't change. I guess some of these are going pretty quickly. Yeah, this one isn't needed. This isn't needed. All right, FPS limit slider. What is this? The word off is used once. No, it's used twice. Huh, how does this look? Oh, interesting. I see. So it just sets it to off in that case. Okay, sure. Yeah, so the word off should be used the same for both of these. Off equals tr off settings. Yeah, settings menu. That's fine. And then use that and use that. Perfect. Sadly, go to the office and have 6 hours of meetings scheduled. Wow. And yeah, that's not such a long word for turkey then. Hey, player. Hey, player number 2. Yeah, I don't have any major plans tomorrow. I'll be streaming in the morning, I think. And then I was thinking of just doing work in the afternoon. I will see how all that goes. This is looking fine for now. I'm not going to do anything about that. Common controls. This is not translated. I wonder what the easiest thing is to do for this. Probably just translate these strings wholesale and let someone else come up with what the formatting is. We need a closing font size tag. I guess we can put that on the outside. Yeah. So let's... Ooh, can we put an @ symbol in there? I don't think we could. Maybe we can. Let's try it. So I'm going to put a TR here, and this will be settings menu. And then we're going to generate this. Yeah, for anyone just dropping in, I already kind of mentioned this is going to be more of what happened in the morning. It's going to be me changing strings, calling functions around them. Nothing really all that interesting. Yeah, that's it. This is a bunch of grunt work happening on stream. All right, so settings menu. Where is that? Scroll wheel. Yeah, I guess we have new lines in here. Yeah, I'll probably just leave it as this. I think this is fine. We have the font size stuff in here though too. Yeah. So I don't want the font size to make it into here. Common controls. So we would do this, right? Which probably should make it in at the beginning. No, I'm going to have to change this. Because we need to put the uncommon controls in here. String different or distinct controls. All right, so we're not in challenge mode. So the final text we're going to have here is this. And a font size equals 20 somewhere. So this font size equal 20. Common controls, delete all of that. Okay. Now we need the distinct stuff. That is like so. TR. Delete that. And this has to be a new line. Yes. Or we just put a new line in it. Yeah, let's put a new line in it. And then we don't need the font size here. Goodness. Okay. I think we're good. So common controls and then a new line and then distinct controls. And now this has to change too. So we get rid of that. We get rid of that. And put settings menu. We don't need to return. Okay. What am I missing? This? Cool. Yeah, so now if I run the game, it should look exactly the same as how it looked already. Oh, there's an extra font size at the end, so that is going to mess up, I think. So new game, go to this thing. Yeah, there's also a new line that's broken in there. How did that happen? Oh, because of the @ sign? Interesting. Yeah, and then that font size we would see broken in... Whoops, I did not mean to click quit. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to just get rid of it anyway. This is going to make the PR harder to merge from Kevin. How fun. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Cool. All that's fine. Now what about this? Yeah, cool. Okay. One more thing done. Too many adventurers. This is an exception. I don't care about that. This probably doesn't matter. Do we ever use this somewhere? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think we do anything about that either. Item was dropped off to an item machine, but was not accepted. That's fine. What is this? X count? Loot item? I guess the X might not be used for every language. So if I go over to here, it's also then I win an instance. Yeah, so this potion X1. Do I have to localize the X? And maybe the order has to change? I'm going to just leave this as is for now. Yeah. All right, this is fine. Found in, and then all the location names. Yeah, so this should be changed. What does this inherit from? Texture rectangle? Okay, so it's got TR then. And all the locations that it's found in. All right, so string found in label. And this will be tooltips. Okay, done. Okay, what are we looking at over here? I mean, it looks fine for now. Not going to do anything about that. This needs to be changed, though. Feed item to slime for, and then some amount of money. This is the tip that shows up for the slime. So string tip text equals all of that. Then we want to extract a string out of here. What are we doing? The scrap price and the money symbol? Okay. Is Kevin in chat right now? I don't think he's here yet, Sosola. So let's just copy paste the whole thing, and I'll put this here. So TR feed item to slime for whatever. This will put as garbage slime, I guess. And then this all drastically needs to change. There. Now we put that as the, I'll just say money in here, which doesn't exist. That's what this should be. Yeah. And then we just delete this one. Okay. Yeah, nice. Might as well try this out too. One of the things I've been wondering about is how far can you get by changing your mentality on something? Because you can't push your limit beyond what's capable of your body, right? Like if you're like, I want to go sprinting for 40 hours in a row, it's like, I don't think any human's ever done that ever and will ever do that. So your mentality doesn't really matter in that case. But when it comes to normal boundary pushing, like, hey, I want to do more work. I want to spend an hour or two extra doing more work. I think if you truly enjoy something or want to do it, you can probably push yourself a little bit further. And the reason I'm wondering about this is I do want to make progress on this and I want to get these things done. And I want to carve out the time to do it somehow. I just don't want to burn myself out in the process. Great at pushing your own boundaries. Yeah, I guess if you don't feel burnout or stress, I guess it's also hard to know if you feel any stress, how much of it is accumulated from every source that you have and not necessarily that any individual source would have actually stressed you out. So since that was very vague, let me explain. Work provides X stress for somebody, and then whatever, your hobbies provide Y stress. These could even be negative. Maybe social stuff provides some amount of stress. What I'm wondering is if these are both higher, will your work stress you out more? And probably yes. But then it would seem like work is the cause when maybe it's really the other things that are going on in your life. I'm a professional at overextending myself. Snowies, if you know this about yourself, have you ever tried to do anything about it? Like, have you made an effort to not do that? Do you ever see consequences from it? So I'm kind of curious about this sort of thing. Like, if I felt that way about myself, I think at some point I'd be like, okay, I'm going to stop and I'm going to make a change in my life so this doesn't happen again. And it all comes down to like, how big of a deal is it for you? Okay, this looks fine. Oh, except there's a missing parenthesis. Ooh. Wow. That would have evaded my detection for a while. Glad I tested that. Starting to sound like my therapist. Okay, I'll stop. You keep on overextending yourself. I will not get in the way. This should not need to change. Yeah, this is fine. In fact, I almost wonder if we should tag things with like doesn't need to be localized. Oh no. Oh no. Did I miss this with all of these? Please tell me I did this for some of them. Oh no. None of the upgrade or build labels were done. Well, some of them were. Now I'll just write this down. Many upgrade labels and build labels weren't localized. I did do some of them in building strings. Yeah. Had a wild few days listening to me. We gave up on that relationship after a while. What? You're saying you stopped? No, you raised all good points, and yeah, I need to work harder to not do that. It's easier said than done. Oh yeah, it's definitely easier said. But that's part of the reason I asked is because I recognize some things are easy to talk about and hard to do, but other ones it feels at least like, oh, I realize that thing's happening, so I'll just stop it from happening. Now I recognize this is not one of those subjects, but at some point, I think the magic word in your life is probably going to be no. I do have a lot of thoughts about working too much, as you already know. I think, yeah, and you mentioned having a lot of projects going on at once too. I look around me, and one of the things I'm very aware of is when I feel like someone is doing more than I am, just in terms of their life. And I'm always like, I'm working on Skeleseller. That's it. That's what I do for my living. It just doesn't feel like enough. Like, I'm very fulfilled. I like what I'm doing. I just wonder, should I be doing more? Could I be doing more? Have I settled into a life of luxury? And I'm just like, yeah, this is how long I work, and then I'm done. And I can't do any more. I want to do it all, so why not just do it all, you know? Yeah, why not? There's certainly no answer to that question. Hey, to each their own. It's not my life. And it's not my place to even talk about it. I'm totally fine not asking more about it. All right, so these we're going to avoid for right now. Anything with money symbol, we got to eventually look at again. This stuff's pretty much fine. This I have something written down about, but it's total seconds, which I think I wrote down over here. No, I have from seconds. Okay, so time span, total seconds I also need to write down. Okay. Flare. Yeah, I did not feel like the person understood overly ambitious people at all. So you also didn't understand how many courses and projects I already did at like 18. That's interesting. You know, I wonder if you would at all resonate with the everyone mentoring series I did with Peter. He is a very ambitious German guy. And I did 9 sessions with him. And granted, I mean, a lot of the mentoring is like he's telling you about his life, his issues, his career. So it's not going to be directly relevant. But I think one of the common themes that we had toward the end was I'm like, Peter, you're doing too much. Like, cut yourself some slack. And yeah, I had to message this quite a lot. And granted, I don't think he was not receptive to the message. I just think he wanted to do a lot. It's kind of like what Snowy's is talking about. Is Peter like you? It sounds like it, yeah. At least to some extent. I don't know the particulars of your life as much as I knew the particulars of his life. So a lot of what he was doing, I would say, was career ambition. And yeah. So anyway, it was interesting to talk about that stuff. I see a lot of common themes amongst other tech workers. I think anxiety around their jobs is one of them. Lack of assertiveness, is another one. And what was I going to say? I guess I was going to talk about work-life balance, but I think that's kind of like in this bucket. So maybe we put that there. Is there anything else I think is common? No, I think those are the most important ones, I think, at least that I see. And the lack of assertiveness I see from people in a lot of different aspects of their lives. And I had a very interesting realization recently about this. So I was kind of working with someone to talk about their lack of assertiveness, and they finally just kind of like almost snapped and were like, that's it, fine. I'm gonna overly assert myself. And they like regularly asserted themselves, but they felt like they were doing so much more. And I thought, man, that's probably what it feels like. If you're not assertive in your life and you finally start standing up for yourself, you probably feel like, oh my God, I'm pushing every boundary. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Everyone's going to disrespect me. It's just like, it's like, hey, I want that thing. And they're like, okay, here's the thing. And that's what reality is actually. It's me for real. Oh God, I'm only talking about snowies now. Can't relate. I think I'm too assertive. I think I think either extreme is bad. And I think they're bad in different ways. If you're too assertive, I mean, too assertive, I think it's more like being aggressive. But if you're not assertive at all, it's like you'll almost never get what you want, or you'll struggle to get the things you want when they could be easy. I mean, so many times I think assertiveness really just boils down to asking someone something along the lines of like, is this okay? And they say yes. And you're like, cool, saved whatever, 30 minutes or something. And that's it. That's as simple as it could be. Just you ask a question, you get an answer, and you're like, oh, okay, that's the result I wanted. Or like, can I borrow that thing from you? And they're like, oh, yes. And you're like, oh, cool, I saved a bunch of money. I don't need to buy that myself now. Or any number of other examples where it's just such a minor thing. But if you're in this groove of, I'm not going to even ask the question, you'll never have an opportunity for that to happen. Click to toggle this of spell data.get name. Only one spell can be set to autocast at a time. I think we have a spells thing, but it might be enchanter. I got to look at that. I should really write down all the categories. There. All right, so do we use spells in here? Do we use enchanter? Spells. Yeah, spells. Cool. I certainly fear being too assertive, but as a result, I'm a total doormat. Yeah, so what I was getting at is, if you ever try asserting yourself more, it'll feel like you're being overbearing, I think. At least, I should put probably there. It'll probably feel like you're being overbearing just because of how much of a tonal shift it's going to be. Hey, Sarah. I have both. I am the superior imposter over here. Need to clip this automatically play every time I turn on my computer as a reminder. The assertiveness thing? Yeah, I wonder if there's some like general way to get this across without even needing to be someone's mentor. Because I think this is the kind of thing you need repeated messaging about. And ideally in a way that's specific for you, with the consequences you faced as a result of this, or some kind of reminder or benefit or reward. Yeah, what would Adam do? What would Adam say? We need to somehow get it to be WASD. Would Adam say do it? I don't know. That's your assertiveness mantra. Or you've already accepted this quest and then get the backstory. Okay, that's pretty good. Already accepted. TR, what am I doing? You have already accepted this quest. This is, yeah, sure, dialogue title. I don't even think that's a thing. Let me just close every other tab. Oh, I cannot close every other tab. Wow, I'm glad I didn't do that. All right, let's close all the tabs to the right and then look up dialogue something. Description. Is there anything else? Dialogue title, title and description. Is this a title? Yes, it's a title. Okay. And that's not pluralized, is it? No. Okay, already accepted. Put this here. Good. Another one down. What Adam says to do. Yeah, that's pretty good. Dis. What Adam say? Dis. Quest completed. Someone has joined your workforce. This is a notification. Notifications. That one's pluralized. That's a shame. Oh, except for that's supposed to go here. And that's supposed to be new worker name. A new skeleton. What is that? Name of new worker? How could this be null? Well, I don't think that can be null. I think we just delete this stuff. Yeah. Hey, HC. And welcome in. All right, so now we format this. I'll copy that, translate F, paste. Context is going to be notifications, I guess. And quest name new worker. Turn this into a 0. Turn this into TR. Delete this. Okay. There we go. One more file localized. It's an invalid exception. Don't care about that. All right, I don't need this one or the push error, but hired a certain person. This is going to be important. Hire text equals translate F. Hired the 0. Notifications. Display name. TR. And then replace it. Hire text. Great. So how many more lines do we have to get through? 219? That's not too bad. Do you go to school for this? Yeah. Not for localization specifically. But yeah, I went to school for computer science. What did I just say we're down to? 219, I think. All right. The goal is to get this down to 0 by 3:30, if I can. I don't think it's going to be possible, but let's still try. So this is scenario number whatever. And this is not inside of... Oh, it's inside of a control. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, because this is a partial class. TR scenario number 0. This will be... Where does this go? This is a banner. I guess we can just call it a dialogue title, even though it's not. All right, now string dot format. Actually, a dot format with would be kind of nice. And I could just do that. It could be an extension. Any issues now? No, and then the description. So description, string dot format, tr, earn 0 to win. And this will be dialogue description. And then we put in this. Good. I think that's your main job here. Coder slash coach. Streamer interactions. Man, I wonder if there was ever an influencer school, what they would teach. Like, it'd probably be a lot of trade secrets that if they got out would make people look bad. Posting 101, how to incite fake drama. There's dozens of those courses. No, but I mean, what if there was like an accredited, like a university kind of thing? Or are you saying there actually are courses at universities and stuff? Because I'm sure that influencers are trying to sell courses on how to become like them. But what if it was a school of this stuff? I guess it's not really all that different from there just being courses that influencers sell. I also wonder how many people would do well just by taking courses on it. I feel like there's a certain personality aspect to being a, and I'm going to write here, proper influencer. So I consider myself an influencer in that I'm on Twitch and people watch me. but I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm trying to make a game, and I just happen to be streaming it. So I don't think I have the same personality as like true influencers. I think there's got to be like a healthy amount of ego involved, and then a lot of like business sense, and I don't know. Yeah, probably those two things are up there. Ego is probably not necessary, but I feel like it probably makes being an influencer a lot easier. I have a million questions. Yeah, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer. People want to get rich quick, and nothing about being a content creator is any sort of quick. There are probably some people who actually want to learn. Because I was going to say, this sort of thing happens in every category of course. There's like a how to learn coding course, and people sometimes want to just cut through it really quickly. But that doesn't mean there aren't still motivated students. 28, trying to learn quantum physics. I have $0. Okay, I'm going to give you a soft warning here really fast, which is just, I try not to allow segmented messages in chat. So I'm happy to read whatever you write, but try to type it as one message if you can. You're saying you want to switch into computers though? Because you mentioned learning quantum physics. I think that quantum computing is probably the kind of thing that you need a PhD to get most jobs for. So if you're trying to shift to computers, I'd say the non-quantum route is probably a good route unless you want to get a PhD and have a bunch of debt. That's at least my understanding of quantum computing, is that it requires a lot of like research chops. All right, so here we have a pluralized adventurers thing. You have some number of adventurers with an unspent skill point, view adventure information and customize their skills. Oh, you know, one of the things I want to try after this is like, what would updating a string look like? Look like to translators. How is this flagged? Like how would they find that they need to update a string? What context would they see? I've been a cook my whole life, just quit my job, and I'm looking for something to do with computers. Yeah, I see. Yeah. Yeah, so I was talking about this earlier. I don't know to what level you've learned computer stuff, but there's a Stack Overflow dev survey that's sent out every year, and I just shared this. This is not what I'm looking for. Where's the 2025 survey? Here it is. Yeah. So I just shared this earlier. This has a whole bunch of different charts here, and you can just click any of these and see. And it talks about a bunch of different technologies. And in this case, yeah, let me change this color. So Python, SQL, HTML, CSS, etc. You can see how desired and how admired they are according to everyone who responded to this. So if you are looking for a job and you're starting in your late 20s, I think it's probably a good idea to at least have a practical focus of like, what do you want to do and how does that align with the job market? And this is just one chart. I'm not trying to overly focus on this one, but if you scroll down to like, I don't know, any of these things, like, yeah, what editors do people use? What languages, what technologies, any of this stuff, just try to get a feel for like what's out there. And then depending on what you already know, it's then steer yourself toward that thing. And I think one of the biggest questions should be, do you like that thing? So let's just say you read all this and you're like, yeah, I want to do web dev and I want to do it in this language and with this technology. Well, then go try that stuff out. And if a month or 2 months or 10 months in, you're like, I hate this, then probably pivot to something else. Because I get wanting to be in computers, but I think everyone has a particular area that they gravitate toward. And there are a few people who probably like a lot of different realms of it, but I think most people are like, I like back-end services, or I like front-end, or I like whatever, anything to do with space travel, or I don't know, something like that, where that helps narrow down your focus. Hey, Half. C# has fallen a few places. I mean, it only starts to matter when support starts dropping. Like, imagine Microsoft put in the same number of resources and you're the only C# user. You'd probably still have a good time. But Microsoft wouldn't do that for one person. This is close in Spain. This is a cookie dialogue, Kevin. What are you talking about? This isn't a university. All right, jokes aside, let's see. What does this say? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep. Okay. I understand none of this. Okay, let's run it through Google Translate. The Faculty of Information Sciences, pioneering institution in audiovisual communication. This does not sound like influencer school. This also doesn't sound like influencer school. None of this is. They're just making stuff up over there. Yeah, I see English in the URL. I'm not sure why it's Spanish. Need a ton of endurance for making content. Need to analyze what works and what doesn't. He's still sort of fun. I mean, I think content creating is fun for some people too. I also, I've seen some people come out of nowhere with YouTube videos that end up doing well because they put a lot of effort into those YouTube videos. So I think if you were to just start on Twitch, you might have like zero audience, but I think YouTube could start boosting people a little bit more. Wait, was I reading the wrong parts? That part wasn't supposed to be a joke. I thought I was reading the actual summary. No, I think that was the actual summary. Well, anyway. Can we take Python out of there? Why? Why take Python out of there? I think Python's fine. All right, so you have some number of adventurers with an unspent skill point. View adventurer information and customize their skills. Okay, well, that string we can change very easily. Adventurers. Or maybe we should call this like town menu. Yeah, we don't use that already, do we? Menu, settings menu. No, we don't. Quick move menu. Yeah, no, we don't. All right, well, town menu is what we're going to do then. There's a link to the course content. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of joking my way through half of that. You have classes like psychology of communication or multimedia production. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, so here's where we want to do a TRN. And I forgot how this works. Message, and then plural message, and then N, and then context. Okay. So message is going to be, you have 0 adventurer with an unspent skill point. Then the plural message is going to be adventurers. And then N is going to be this. And then this will say the town menu. So that's that. We can now delete all of that stuff. Format this to use the number. Oh, except for, no, that's wrong. This is supposed to still be greater than 0. And then delete the rest of that. Okay. How's that look? So if you have more than 0 adventurers, it's going to either say you have 1 adventurer with an unspent skill point or 2 or more adventurers with an unspent skill point. And if you have 0, it's going to say view adventurer information. Yeah, sounds good. This is eventually going to have to change to talk about you have enough wisdom sludge to level up. I got to think about that, but I'll do that later. All right, what else do we need? Sludge. Yeah. Long sigh. Button text. What is button text? It's passed in. And I'm guessing I never, yep, no. I never localized that. Well, maybe we should just do that now. Yeah. TR. Town perks. Yeah, we just need this for all of these. Oh, that didn't work. Hello? Any others? So build, there should also be higher here somewhere, right? Where's higher? There it is. I don't know why it's off in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so the only thing we're missing now is this. So this is the button label when it costs sludge. Button, already have button text there. Full button text is going to be 0, 1 sludge. Delete this. Delete that. Town menu. Button text cost. Yeah, cool. And then plug this in over here. Nice. Whew, done with that. Okay. When enabled, this will automatically start new battles. Current state. On and off. I'm pretty sure we already have this somewhere else in the code base. Yeah, settings menu off. It's capitalized there and it's lowercase there. On off state. All right, we should. I'll write this down. Strings to their own file. I'm not doing that now. We're going to do this the easy way. And then these both need that. Okay, so now tooltip. Tooltip equals format like so. And we say tooltips and then on or off. Yeah. Nice. All right, how many are we down to? 202. So I'm doing like 1 per minute. Oh no. This work. It's the end is in sight for this list, but this is one of many lists. And one of the lists is now titled Skills with Complexity. That'll be fun. All right, so get instance info string. This is presumably fine. But we have so many other aspects here. What do we have here? Defeat something to be able to do something. Beat once, reveal rewards. And all of this is going to be inside of a note color, but only added to the end here. This is going to be a mess. I'm going to save this for later. Battle map marker dot update tooltip needs to be overhauled. All right, anything else we can get rid of? No, that's pretty much it. Battle map flavor text. I am boring, so I guess I am at the right place here. You're not boring. And thank you for the resub. Welcome back. How's your Wednesday been going? You ready for Dutch Thanksgiving tomorrow? Oh, I crack myself up. Who needs other comedians when I've got myself? I have to leave unexpectedly. Okay, yeah, gotcha. If I don't hear a response, I won't assume you're ignoring me. Oh, man. All right, there was something I wanted to write down here. Oh, yeah, the flavor text. Okay, where's that come from? All instance data. Is that written down over here? All instance data. It is not. Is it already taken care of? No, it is not. Okay. All instance data needs translate calls and probably functions instead of strings. He's been bullying us Europeans for not having a day off. Only a little bit. Only a little bit. All right, this one's fine. I'm not even taking tomorrow off. Although if I were at any traditional company, I think it's a government holiday actually, isn't it? US government holiday? Federal holidays. Yeah, here are all the federal holidays. And yeah, Thanksgiving is one of them. I wonder if it's true for all the federal ones as well. Yeah, they're all at the ends of the year. So there's 1, 2, 3 in the first 2 months, and then 3 in the last 2 months. So 6 out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the 11, more than half are in 4 of the months. It's not actually as extreme as I thought. But I guess at most companies, they give you things like New Year's Eve, maybe Black Friday, Christmas Eve. So it adds an extra like 3 holidays in that time. I don't like turkey anyway. Hey, have you still been using that Too Good To Go app? Because I liked seeing the hauls you would post on Discord. Just something about it, knowing that you're getting food for like way cheaper than you should be able to get it for. It's very satisfying. It's on October 5th. It's not really a thing. Now, whenever I hear things like harvest festivals, even though I know they're rooted in real life, I always think of things like Stardew Valley. These are done. It's just very quaint to me. All right, format, title, fish. Location data dot display name. Okay, so we just need the fish label. TR fish. Pond, I guess. Yeah, we could get rid of the space. No, you know what we could do? We could put this into it. Yeah. Format 0/1. And then just paste these things here. All right, I think we're good. Not recently. I've been too busy and tired. But when I do, I'll post again. Got bad news yesterday and a potential good opportunity for my life today. So my emotions are all over the place. Oh man, I hope everything's going well over there. Yeah. I'm excited by the potential good opportunity. I hope it's a good thing. Things I learned from my streamer today. No, they invented the Harvest Festival. Obviously, Thanksgiving has already been around. No, but anytime I hear about, yeah, something like a Harvest Festival, a community center, I think that's kind of it. Yeah. If I hear about those things, I think of Stardew Valley. Maybe farming, but farming, there have been farm games forever. But none of them had you go to the docks with all these, what are they, jellyfish going through the water at the end of summer, I think. I don't even know if that was the end of summer event. I think it was. Okay, so this one's done. Number of wins. Let's go do this. What is that question mark there for? Oh, indicating that the level is unknown. All right, let's write this out. So this is the battle map. Technically, this is also on the battle map. Good. Now string.format that. Wins. Good. Now change that to a 0. And then put a comment here, I18N. The question mark indicates that you don't, that the player shouldn't know what level the boss is. And we instead tell them how many wins they got to indicate the relative level. What about Harvest Moon, though? You know, I never really played Harvest Moon. And I think Stardew Valley was heavily inspired by Harvest Moon and is probably just a better version of Harvest Moon now. So I don't know if I could go back and enjoy those games. But yes, if I'd played Harvest Moon, I probably would have thought of it based on that. Did you ever check it out in your area? I know at least downtown there are some places that have stuff every day. So I kind of mentioned this yesterday, but I feel I have a lot of dietary restrictions that are self-imposed. So let's say I got it from, I don't know, anywhere. It doesn't matter where. They give you a grab bag of stuff. And since I don't go into an office, I can't bring all the extra stuff to an office to dump it. So it would potentially just go to waste. So that's why I haven't checked it out. I've been very tempted. The other thing is I don't know if they label everything properly. So like I don't have coffee, and every once in a while I'm like, okay, I'll get something from a bakery maybe, but they sometimes have desserts that have coffee in them, and if they don't label them as such, then I don't want to be consuming it without knowing. It wouldn't be the end of the world in that case. It's not like I'm allergic or something. I just have opted not to have coffee. Source Wikipedia. I was gonna continue joking about this, but no, I know what you mean. I'm doing anything I can to compensate for the extreme boredom I feel from this task, and yet still have to work through. All right, so level text is gonna be 0. Yeah, battle map. Level text, great. All right, what's this one? Comma, max adventurers. And then get, yeah, that looks pretty good. I think the problem is concatenating a bunch of strings, because like we have a comma here. You can't necessarily do this. Yeah, I might need to change this whole thing. I think this will become a mess. Will I have to do it again tomorrow? I could split this up if I wanted to. I could say, okay, let's just do enough of it now. The reason why I'm prioritizing this, as boring as it is and as bad as the stream content is because I don't want to block other people. So translations, if I can get these started, let's say next week, then awesome, that'd be great. If I put this off for another month, then that's just that much less time for us to then get the translations in. The other thing that we're kind of competing against here is I think December 4th is my like AI, my premium AI credits reset. So right now I have 200 of them, and that's 200 that I could be like, okay, translate this file into Spanish, or translate this file into whatever, French or something like that. I want to mess around with AI based translations using those premium credits. So if I use these 200 in December, on December 4th, I'll get another 200, and then I can continue to try. I like Harvest Moon. That's why I became a game dev. Really? Wow. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. The people who became game devs due to like, 1 to 2 inspirations. I wonder what those inspirations are. And then if you kind of plotted them on a chart, what the top ones would be. Because I imagine there are going to be some pretty big ones there, like Zelda, Final Fantasy, Mario, and then yeah, maybe some of the indie games nowadays. Like maybe someone plays Factorio and they're like, I want to get into game dev. And I'd be curious about that. I don't think there was one particular inspiration for me, but I do feel that I have inspiration for certain music pieces, and it's kind of like a loose inspiration. There's one thing I made, do I have a command for this? Yeah, I made this piece and I called it Undertow because Undertale somehow inspired this. And it doesn't sound like Undertale. But yeah, somehow I know that it came from that. So I wonder how many people just can't trace the inspiration they might have. Take care, Kevin. A7CCHG. Trying to make GTA. Wow. Yeah. Oh, anyway, JD, to go back to this, I will probably end up doing this tomorrow as well, but I'm not totally sure. All right, so what else do we need now? It looks like we're good, and we just have a bunch of commas here that I'd love to not have. Show all details. And if you've unlocked it with waves. Oh, man. There's got to be some better way of doing this. I'll just leave it as is for now. Do you think writing a longer prompt to translate a file is getting better results than just translate this file into X? I don't know. I've never tried it. I am waiting until I have enough strings in the file. So like I could run some prompts on this. In fact, I could ask an AI right now, hey, translate some of these things. But I just haven't, because I have other stuff I have to do first. But yeah, I should give it a shot at some point. Trying to create Skyrim 7 years ago, it got nowhere. Oh man. It's funny to me because so many people say like, I'm gonna make an MMORPG as my first game, or I want to make like, I don't know. It's natural that people do that. They kind of underestimate very drastically sometimes, and they're inspired by those games and they want to remake them. And that's why I think modding is so great. It's like if you want to make Minecraft right now, yeah, you could learn how to make Minecraft, but you could just make a mod and then your first mod could be done in, well, if you already know coding, probably minutes. But if you don't know coding, probably like a month or two. And I'm not saying it's a complex mod or anything you do in that time. Maybe you're just getting different blocks to get placed down. But that still feels very powerful, especially to a new coder. Make Half-Life 3. That'll show them. All right, so have we done all of these? I think we got them all. All right, stats increased. So text is going to be... I think like this. Yeah. What am I doing? This is not hard to do. And this is going to be a notification. And this is going to be the formatted adventurer name. And then this is text. Okay. I'm going to try this out. Can't even build a mega base. Well, Factorio is the kind of game that needed a lot of clever tricks to make it work in a performant way. They talked about their pathfinding in a blog post or a video or something, and what they did was pretty smart. I think there are a lot of games you could make without being clever. Like you could make Flappy Bird with no clever optimizations whatsoever. You could in fact probably do things in like the worst possible way and it'll still probably run totally fine. But yeah, some games I don't think that's doable. It's like VS Code. I know it's not a game, but you probably can't make VS Code and have it run everything it throws at it without knowing some pretty in-depth stuff about coding. Even just curly brace color highlighting, they got some blog posts on how crazy that was. If anyone's interested, by the way, I think it's a pretty good read. Curly brace detection blog post. I'm not going to find it, am I? Ah, here it is. Nice. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty impressive what they've done. And yeah, this is not the kind of thing you stumble onto. You like really think about this. Hey, Micho. Worked on my own RPG. Your game looks awesome. Thanks. Yeah. What's your RPG all about? Yeah, I wonder, I've mentioned this before, but I wonder if Terraria has a good code base. I haven't ever seen it, but I would hope that it does. Really, really like Terraria. All right, all we're doing here is we're trying to see what happens when we bring one of these to the guild. Does it still say like mage stats increased? Yeah, good, perfect. Okay, happy with that. So that one's done. Now what's this? Level up note, formatted note. A lot of these are already covered. Yeah, what's this one now? Skill points. Okay, skill points is in English. God, it took me a long time to even find the plain English text here. Oh, man. All right, what do we do? I guess replace all this stuff with a 0. And then paste that in here. All right, how's that look? Skill points, number, and then the delta is in... What? The delta is... Oh, I see. Oh, man. So much of this is probably going to cause problems later. Gooey, thanks for the resub. Happy 5 months. Let's go. Working on mix with adventure and crafting as core gameplay. Okay, cool. Yeah. Would you recommend an idle game for newbie game dev, but with a cloud engineering background? If you have a cloud engineering background, I think your first game can be something a little bit more ambitious than probably most people. I think an idle game is probably pretty decent. If we look at that 20 games list, which I'll put in chat. Oh, hey, Vito. This is Godot. Yeah, if we look at the 20 games list, the way it starts you is with Pong, Flappy Bird, Breakout. I think you could probably skip like 5 or 6 games here and then try any of these other ones. Or maybe even like 10 of these games. I think you could probably make Pac-Man. If you have, yeah. I would say this though. I do think it's worth trying one of these games just to learn an engine. So even though you might have a cloud engineering background, you might be like, wow, game dev's brand new. I've never done this stuff before. I want to just kind of get my feet wet. In which case, yeah, make like a Flappy Bird or a Breakout kind of thing. Because that way you're not focused too much on anything other than just the engine. And I always kind of say this, but game design is very tough to do and it's tough to prove. So anyone can make a document and say, here's how the game will work. That doesn't mean the game's going to be fun. And you can't even really tell if the game's going to be fun from the document. So in order to tell if the game's fun, you have to kind of make the game or prototype the game or make a mod in a game that's similar to what you want to do. And that's where I say, just cut all this stuff out. Just don't do game design. Just start with like, I'm making Breakout. It's a game that's already been designed. I can just focus on the engine and figuring out what I'm doing and whether you like it. But then, yeah, I think an idle game wouldn't be too bad. Have I made those? No, I haven't. In fact, I don't think I've made many from here. I've made Pong. And I made something kind of like Space Invaders. And yeah, I think that's about it. Did I ever try making like my own Minecraft? I don't think so. Yeah. I think probably any professional game dev should at least know how they might approach those games if they were to make them. Like they should have ideas of what they're doing. There was this channel on YouTube a while ago that broke down game mechanics in other games. So for example, in Zelda Breath of the Wild, there's this magnesis effect where you can pick up metal objects and it puts this like pink shader on everything and you can like drag things around and then they would recreate that thing and say, okay, here's how I think they did it. And it was really informative and pretty entertaining. I think breaking down any other game into the puzzles that formed it from a game dev perspective is helpful. Just to think, how would I do that? How does that work? I want to kind of do more mechanical stuff on stream than this. It still involves some amount of thinking. I tried making a single portal in a game, I failed. Portal is a bit tricky because I think you need to know more about rendering to do that. And my like naive approach without having ever even really thought about this too much is I'd probably try to exploit the engine's form of a camera into a scene. But you need to probably be careful about infinite recursion. And yet the recursion is probably what makes Portal pretty interesting if you put two portals next to each other and you see yourself like in a hallway of mirrors. All right, so what are we turning this into? Level delta. I mean, I guess the same thing that I did for the other one, right? I don't even know where that is. All right, so level. And all this goes into a 0 tag, adventurers panel tab. And then put this there. I'm purposely not accepting the suggestion because I don't want to have to read it to see if it's good, and I knew it was on my clipboard. So that's character level. Now health should be the same thing. You know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll copy everything that's there now. I know it's in the diff. And then I'll have this thing write it out for me. Come on. Come on. Now it knows that this is on my clipboard. I should probably paste it somewhere else. How long have I been working on this game? A little over a year and a half. All right, fine. I'll write out part of it. I'm gonna have to write out the whole thing. It had it there. Why won't it type it out for me? Oh, man. All right, that might have been it. I think it's probably broken something, though. But yeah, let's take a look now compared to these. So health, power, fortitude looks good. Then we have the font, max life, and health delta, BSC power, power delta, BSC fortitude, fortitude delta. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, the day number in the stream is the number of stream days. And then there are some off stream days that I've done. And also just I don't stream every day of the week or work every day of the week. So in any given 7 calendar days, you'll probably see 5 stream days now. But early on, it was 3 stream days. So I don't know what the average is because I don't remember when I shifted. But yeah, it's probably roughly the double the number of calendar days as stream days. All right, so that's done. So that's all of these. Now we have these ones. Dodge, haste, lifesteal, return damage. Okay. All of these are going to be pretty much the same, right? String dot format, tr, delete that. Then changing these is going to be a little bit more difficult, but not that hard. There. This should be Adventurers panel tab. And then we just paste them back in. But with a $sign and a quotation mark. Hooray! We did it. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I think the line numbers are all wrong now. So I need to scroll down. Yeah. So how much health this adventurer has? This is just a straight up translated tooltip. Tooltips. How much power this adventurer has. Most damaging abilities and healing abilities get better as power increases. Sounds good. How much fortitude this adventurer has. Each point reduces damage taken by this. Think of the current reduction. P10. All right, that might work. Yeah. And then move this up here. Oh, let's look at the diff and make sure that's the same. Current reduction. Yeah, nice. I think it's good. Making games takes a lot of time. Yeah, it does. And if you look at any small part of any game you've ever played, someone had to do that. And depending on what part you're looking at, it could be an entire system. Like, let's say we're talking about, I don't know, Zelda. It's like all of the sound effects that play, someone had to make those, the actual sound effects themselves, then figure out where they belong in the game, and then have the code for playing them. And all of that stuff is tough. Making them, I mean, that should be pretty obvious why it's difficult, unless you know how to make sound effects, and even then you probably think it's difficult. But then assigning them to the right locations. I think people might underestimate how much anything like this, which I would just bucketize as content, how much time this takes. And the way I've kind of said this before is, imagine I give you like every asset for Super Mario Bros. 1. And then I say, okay, now you go just put this stuff in. I give you the engine too. I give you the engine. And you're like, you got to go place every Goomba, every Koopa, every pipe. You got to like connect the different pipes to each other. You got to make the maps for this stuff. Now you could go play Super Mario Bros. 1, so you could see exactly what it ended up being. But even with that, it's not a minor task to go set all those things up exactly the same. And that's a pretty small game. Imagine anything larger than this. Even, I don't know, like A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. It's like, okay, now you have a whole world. Let's think about how to type that. Yeah, now you have a whole world map. And this isn't directly from the game. This is like a rendering or a drawing or something from it. But still, it's like, okay, this area existed. Who made this area? Who balanced this? Who figured out like which enemies should go there? How much damage you take compared to how many hearts you have? Where you put the heart recovery things in there? Even this alone would be a decent project for someone to go do. And yeah, that exists so many times in every video game. Just like zoom in on that system. Now go do it. All right, guild supplies bonus, otherwise string.empty. Okay, so string.format tr. Guild supplies bonus. This is in a tooltip? This is not in a tooltip, I think. Yeah, I don't think this is. Where does this thing show up? Just directly in the dialogue. Gotta keep doing this. Pretender, thanks for the sub. Welcome in. I appreciate it. My first game will be click a button, the game, where you click a button and that's the game, you win. It'll still take a while to make properly. That one wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, even these cases where I think someone has a pretty simple game mechanic, it's like imagine if you want to make a game out of that and you're just clicking buttons. You'd probably eventually want different like sizes of buttons, different colors. You need a progression through the game, some kind of, I don't know, currency that you're unlocking as you're doing this, different game mechanics, whatever else, maybe some sounds as you click the buttons. Again, the amount of content that goes into this. The mechanics aren't really part of the content, I guess. And for those who watch the stream for a while, it's like, you just saw me do this with bosses. I spent how many days making new bosses. Most people are going to play the game and be like, yeah, you probably did that in like an hour. You could never win. All right, perk bonus. It's supposed to be health perk bonus. Yeah, nice. This one is guild supplies bonus. Power from guild supplies, good. This is power perk bonus, also good. Yeah, cool. We're getting some of this stuff done. Man, what is all this? Base health. Guild bonus, perk bonus. Oh, man. Full health string or text. Base health 0. And it's going to be everything in here. With base health? Wait, no, not that. Nice. Hey, Ike. Cookie Clicker is a whole category of games. Yeah, I guess those are kind of like click the button kind of games. Just clicker games. I like StarCraft 2D. That's my first game I make as a game dev. That's the first game you want to make as a game dev. I highly recommend against making what was be called a real-time strategy game. I don't think it's easy to make these. And I think when I think of an RTS game and what's difficult, I think it is multiplayer, because they tend to use these like lockstep methods of synchronizing the game. There is all of the pathfinding that you have to do in a performant way, and kind of just like pathfinding with attacking, mixed knowledge levels, like cloaking might exist or something, or a path being blocked. And then the other thing that I think would be tough is the balance. If you handed someone StarCraft 1 and all the units just had a blank template, HP 9999, attack 1, and defense 0, and you're like, just fill in HP, attack, and defense values and try to get the game to be balanced, almost no one could do this. It's just a very tough task. Using Affinity for vector design. It's even free now. Yeah. I think that's cool. I don't do much design stuff myself. I do game design, but not any visual design. But I think it's cool for people who can do that stuff. Full power text. Base power that. Adventurer data, power per level, guild bonus string, perk bonus string. Nice. Okay. So they have single player missions? Yeah, they do have single player missions. But I think a lot of RTS games nowadays would probably be multiplayer. Actually, maybe that's not true. Maybe a lot of people try to make a single player one knowing the balancing is going to be almost impossible. Also building, attacking, pathfinding. Yeah, just to make my skills sharp, no one is perfect. Yeah. Yeah, and you might have heard me say this already, but don't let me ever stop you from doing something if you just want to have fun or learn. But if you want to actually finish a game, I think making an RTS is probably not a good idea. And I really, it's too bad I can't remember game names very well, but there was some quick-paced RTS game that was supposed to kind of replace StarCraft that came out semi-recently and had mixed reviews. RTS replacing StarCraft. I wonder, it's not really replacing StarCraft. Stormgate, I think that was it. I'm pretty sure they had mixed reviews. Oh my god, yeah, mostly negative now. Yeah, I think this is what happens if you don't make a perfect RTS nowadays. And that's not to say it entirely came from just mechanics or balance. There's probably some other reasons here too. Yeah, like this doesn't sound like a game problem exactly. It sounds like a broken promise. But let's read some of these. Yeah, a lot of these have to do with payments actually. Art styles all over the place. Game is a bit buggy. Pathfinding is rough. Game isn't worth committing to. God, it's got to feel bad to release a game and have your community not like it. Actually, I say it's got to feel bad. I mean, that's kind of what happened with Botland. I don't think anyone really cared. I think that's more what happened with Botland. All right, so now full fortitude text. Why do we do this differently? Huh, we put the perk bonus down here. Oh, because there is no guild supply bonus. Okay. So base fortitude text. And then fortitude perk bonus. And then we replace these. Nice. Now what did I mess up here? Oh, was that text already defined somewhere? Oh, you just can't call it fortitude perk bonus? Okay. Perk bonus text. Okay. We're still not done with this one file. There's so many strings in this file. Your current level, increase this. This has no parameters. This one does. But this shouldn't be too hard to do. Just slam a TR around here. And we're done. This one's actually, I guess, a tooltip inside of this thing. So yeah. And then we'll put tooltip text equals string.format tr, your current level. Just paste the whole thing in here. Tooltips. Cool. And then set all of this. All right. I guess there's no real benefit to putting it in an intermediate variable. Yeah. Yeah, balance is definitely tough. I think the other thing is that a stale metagame can lead to people leaving. Like sometimes you just got to mix it up a little bit to keep people engaged. Have you decided when the game will be complete? Working toward a launch date, specific features in mind, or more flexible when you feel it's complete? So the path for Skeleseller was something like this. I wanted to just make story mode. as it exists in the game right now. And then what happened is we had a demo with just story mode. And a lot of people said, like, can't wait to see how many more hours are in store, something like that. I mean, they weren't saying these exact words. And then my face looked something like this. And I realized I don't have that many more hours in store. And I don't really think story mode is replayable. So we ended up making another mode. And then that took like 3 months to do. But then I felt like, okay, if people don't like the combination of these two things, that's too bad, because this is pretty much what we can do as a V1. And I think it's a very complete game. I don't think anyone's going to feel gypped, hopefully, out of the money that they spent. So yeah, it was a feeling of, do people like what we have, and is it enough? And part of the reason for that is because the value proposition is something that people are going to comment on in the Steam reviews, and you'll see a lot of negative reviews as a result of that. Imagine a $70 game and people say, like, on sale for $20, this is great, but don't pay more. Like, I've seen so many variations on this kind of review. And it's too bad, because people value certain games just, I don't know, very differently from how I do. Like, I guess you wouldn't know until you've played a game, but like, looking back, I would have paid $50 for Undertale. I feel like I got a lot of fun out of it. And at the same time, I would not have paid as much as I did for DK Bonanza, although I recognize how much it must have cost to make that game. What do you think of for the price? Probably $15. All right, we're almost done with this file. This is done. Wait, all these are already finished. So then we are done with the file, except for this. +1 skill point. Yeah, nice. All right, cool. All right, so what does that bring us down to? 143. Okay, well, that was roughly the same pace we were already at. I'm glad at least it didn't get slower. All right, this location only allows for some number of adventurers. Remove the extras. Okay, so this is like a doubly pluralized string. There are 2 different plurals that could be here. So we actually have 4 strings we would need. Okay, then let's make 4 strings. We can really do this in just 2. So string. What do I call this? Location only allows for maybe location error. Yeah. So string.format trn. All right, so this location only allows for adventurer. And then the other one is going to say this location only allows for that many adventurers. Number of adventurers allowed. This is the battle panel tab, except for in this case, we're going to say it's an error. And then format this with the number of adventurers allowed. Okay, good. And then the, what's it called when you recover from an error? I guess like action item. I don't know. Remove the extra by clicking them. Remove the extras by clicking them. This needs to be parameterized. And this one wouldn't be? Is that okay? We just don't use the parameter? Yeah, I think so. All right, so there's that. And then return that. And delete this. Oh, and now we don't need this stuff. What's your plan on how to make money? 15 isn't going to cover time invested in developing unless you got like 10,000 to buy it. It's pretty much just marketing. And yeah, maybe maybe it does well, maybe it doesn't. The thing is, if at 15, it's like there's some point where you price it at X dollars and you get not enough money. So you price it at X plus Y, and like this is enough money, I guess, somehow. And then what would Y have to be? So for example, for Botland, just to make up a number, like we would have needed to add on like $500 per sale for it to have worked out to be worthwhile. Would people pay that much more? No, of course not. So like that was pretty much failed from the start. But what I'm getting at here is if selling it at 15 is not enough money and selling it at like 70 is enough money, that's a difference that's so big that the game was going to fail no matter what, is what I'd say. You know what I mean? Like the difference between 15 and 20 is more reasonable. You might be able to charge $20 for this game. But if it succeeds at 20 but didn't succeed at 15, that's kind of, I don't know. That'd be kind of surprising, I guess. Now, just like anything else where you can set a price, you pretty much always want to set it as high as the market will bear and still give you the most profit. But you don't know what that is ahead of time. And Steam has rules for how you can change the price. And I don't know what they are exactly, but there's some like cooldown in between. And yeah, so I think I'll start it at 15 and we'll see how that goes. Game items that you can buy, or is it just going to be you buy the game and that's it? Oh yeah, it's just a one-time purchase. Yeah. The creative work, there's always more you feel like you could do and more ideas to explore. Yeah, no, that's definitely the case here too. And part of what, I'm talking about Botland now. That was the game I made before this. And this, I don't think it exactly had scope creep. I think it was just a big game. So one of the biggest lessons I learned from it is like, be very careful about what you're making. And I mean this in every sense of it. In the business sense of it, like make sure you got product market fit. In the actual development schedule sense of like no scope creep. Don't do silly tasks. Like there are a lot of things that are fun to work on, but just aren't that important. It's like I almost spent 2 days making a shader or something like that to spin text around. I don't need that. I gave up on it after like an hour and then I never went back to it. And now it turns out we don't even need it. But like old me would have spent 2 days on it and would have been probably happy at the result and then unhappy at the game result by having squandered. Yeah, the twist text. Squandered that time. So much to do all the time. Hey, Matt. All right, so we're done with that. What do we have now? It didn't even find these, but these are also problematic. I might as well change them now. Thankfully, these ones are a little bit easier because we don't have any parameters. So just do that and put in tooltips. And then same thing here. Cool. Okay, build. And then we have a cost in parentheses. TR, I guess string dot format. TR build 0. This is on a button. And we want this. And we don't want it in bold. I guess kind of the same thing with the available buildings thing. Available buildings label. This is in a tooltip. Cool. Hola. And then no more buildings available. Yay. Yeah, let's do that. Where does this show up though? That's on the button itself, right? I think it's on the button. Yeah, it's on the button. Okay. Done. Is this still on my clipboard? No, it's not. I want this on my clipboard. Buy perk, some number of sludge, cost of next perk. Yeah, looks good. Pretty much the same thing over here. Hopefully I don't have a $sign there. No, I don't. Okay, buy perk. This should just be 0. Yeah. God, there's so much to do. All right, I'm gonna keep checking. What are we down to? 129. Okay, this is going a little bit faster than I thought. Oh wait, no, we were at 143 before that. But still, that's not too bad. Feel it too? Oh, I've definitely felt it. Was that Boatland? Yeah, that was Boatland. All right, what is this? A button? Yeah, a button. And that's what was on my clipboard. Yep. All right, available adventurers. We do the same thing. Nice. And then this, no more adventurers available. Good. It's back up. No, it's not back up. That was the website. Yeah. I pinged Altman about when it might be back online, and I think he said he should have time to get back to it in the spring, and there was a real life kind of conflict / emergency. And I mean, I don't blame him. This should be a lower priority project than anything else he's working on. Did you tell him he's not hitting his KPIs? No. Got to run. Fun to pop in and see the progress. All right, take care, Ike. Yeah, thanks for dropping by. All right, a lot of this is already translated. This, oh, everything is. Wait, no, not this somehow. How is this not translated? What? Notes? Okay, well, that was easy. Anything else in here? Nope. What made you make the decision that the game should be released with the localization and translation stuff? Oh, man, it's kind of hard to say. So I try to read r/game dev every once in a while on Reddit, and I think there's a lot of stuff that's not really helpful, but there are a couple of sentiments that I think stood out to me. One is that publishers / marketing agencies don't necessarily help. Like there's a certain quality to that too. And two is that some games don't do well in their like main languages market. And all it takes, this is seemingly, I've heard this story a bunch of times, and I know this is survivor bias, but I'll read something like, oh, a Korean streamer, or I don't know, like 3 Korean streamers covered my game, and it led to like 70,000 sales. It, you know, this is definitely an outlier, but yeah, what if just by having it in someone's language, then they can share it with their friends, whereas they might be like, well, yeah, my friends don't really like play games that are in English, so if it were in Brazilian Portuguese, then yeah, maybe they'd play it. Actually, Portuguese is one of the languages we're going to translate to. So yeah, I don't know how much of an effect this will have, but this led me to say no to pretty much every publisher that reached out to me. And I kind of do the same thing when publishers reach out. I go look at their portfolio, and then I look on Steam at the number of reviews and maybe sales that they have. And if there are not a lot of sales, I just think, why would I want to work with this company at all? And if there are a lot of sales, I wonder how much was it the game that did this versus the publisher or the marketing agency? And sometimes they put testimonials. I don't believe testimonials. And I guess I could reach out to these companies and be like, hey, did you like your marketing agency? But they have no reason to answer me. And yeah, maybe they say they loved it. And it turns out that they don't even know it was just their game that did what they needed it to do. Hey, Tepsio. Localization adds a lot of overhead. Oh yeah, I don't think anyone who's watching this is unaware of that. I think they are now seeing this firsthand. All right, this will just be treasure. This is the buy button. buy 01. I just want it to be this. And then I want buy cost and the money symbol to be in one string. And then this to go here. Title can be localized. Oh yeah, same thing, treasure. Sure, whatever. And then the maybe later thing is already localized. Yeah. I have to learn each language. Can you imagine? The game wouldn't get launched for like 20 years. Should probably translate this too, huh? Tooltip text equals. Is that what this is? Yeah, huh? Tooltip text. Okay. String.format tr. This is not the text I want. Ensure the treasure chest will contain a particular item name. But this is in bold. We just get rid of the bold, I guess. Tooltips. And it's just item name. And we use bbcode dot format. I don't know what we can use for this. I don't have a format bold, do I? Huh. No, I don't. All right, well, let's just type it in then. Bold. I don't know. Yeah, item name. B/B. All right, now this is just tooltip text. Haven't been checking in a while, so I don't know how much you struggle, but yeah, it's one of those things that seems to be simple and quick. Oh, yeah. So part of the reason I'm saying this is because, yeah, the streams for the last however long, like localization, localizing, this said figuring out priorities, but it was also localization. We also looked into this, like what we were going to do, I think a couple weeks ago. Yeah, translation, translations, translation, some other localizing things without actually calling it out. Yeah, there have already been several streams on this. And this isn't even all the work. This is just getting the code base to the point where we've manifested the strings correctly. Then we need to get the strings. I sure hope this game does well, because then it would justify all of this. All right, are we done with this? Yeah, are we done with this? Yep. All right, let's try building the game. I haven't tried that in a while. Ideally, we have no syntax errors. Yeah. Just a simple button that you make in like 15 minutes suddenly takes a few days. It could. I think AI is going to help with that nowadays. I suspect I could be like, hey, here's all my Spanish strings. I just added a new button. Like using all the other strings in this file, can you translate this new button so that it matches? And it, I don't know, maybe it'll do a good job. I'm still not convinced. I wouldn't buy it if I were you. I'd be like, Adam's going to give me a free copy for all the playtesting help. Actually, that was kind of the goal, is playtesters would have gotten the game for free. So I almost took off my shirt. I meant to take off my hoodie. I was like, there's no zipper here. Yeah, I don't think the experience is going to be drastically different from the playtest. With that said, I'm sure what Zylotics is saying is tongue in cheek, but for the playtesters who are on the fence, like, yeah, you don't have to buy it. I wouldn't accept a free copy. Happy to buy it. I appreciate that, but I don't know. The way I see it is, I think like value from my community is more in being my community and spreading the word. I've never really tried to monetize the community other than in the beginning of the Adam Learns days. I would have needed to do that to get this to succeed. But yeah, those two things are pretty important. So just kind of being here for the journey is more valuable to me than the like $7 I'd get from Steam after they and the government get their cuts. AI translation in games sucks. I'm not saying the whole thing would be AI. I'm saying, like, let's say you had 1,000 strings that were human translated, and then you add one button and you say, AI, use the other strings to come up with the new button text. It probably wouldn't be too far off from the right thing. But yeah, who knows? Maybe it would. I think if you have absolutely nothing else to work with, it could be pretty far off. But if it sees that, like, oh, hey, you're translating fireball in this way and you're translating lightning bolt in this way, and then you come up with earthquake, I think it'd do a decent job. Because it'd probably be like, oh, yeah, this is for a video game. I get the context. But yeah, maybe it won't. I don't know. I'll accept their free copies. I'll play it on 6 computers at once. That'll show them. I leave once I miss the giveaway. Oh yeah, everyone else got a $100 gift card in chat. And I said, any other takers? I've got one more gift card. No one said anything, so I just burned it. Just let me give you money. My Prime sub doesn't cost me anything. I mean, your Prime sub does cost you something, just to be clear. Someone's paying for Prime. Speaking of overhead, multiplayer went. No, multiplayer is never coming to this game. I don't think it would benefit this game. There are a lot of games where you might make it as a single player game and be like, oh yeah, it'd be better as a multiplayer game. Like Nuclear Throne, I think, is one of those games. And there's a fan mod that adds multiplayer. But now imagine like Solitaire, a game that you're literally supposed to play alone, and someone saying like, oh, add multiplayer to it. That's kind of how I feel. You could envision a world where you could make multiplayer work, but it just wasn't designed for that from the get-go, and I think it'd be shoehorning it in. That's what? Polytear? Hey, Civi. Continue playing on my phone. Yeah, that'll probably be done through Steam, but I don't think you can play a Steam game on your phone. I don't know if it's worth making a mobile version of this game. I'm kind of torn on that. All right, so this looks like it's already done. This is probably done. Control, don't care about that. What is this? Fighting Adventures, we already have that, nice. New child being ignored, we're done with that. Okay, wow, a lot of this stuff is already finished, so thank goodness. Or didn't need to be done at all, like this. Print, I don't care about this stuff. Nice, okay. That alone let us get through, oops, can't do that. We're down to 93 lines. Oh my goodness. The end is in sight. 93 remaining. Can we beat the amount of time it takes before the cat starts meowing? I don't know. Have fun redoing all the menus for mobile. Yeah, I know it would go into it. I think my bigger issue with mobile is it's just like with multiplayer. The game's not really set up for it. It could potentially work. Like the main way that people play on desktop is they'll eventually have 3 different battle windows open. So they do something like this, and then something like this, and then something like this. And on desktop, I know I'm blocking some of the windows, but on desktop, it's like this isn't taking up so much space that you can't still play the game. And you can undock all of these windows and move them wherever you want. And you can shrink them a little bit if you want to as well. So you can have them take up like a really tiny bit of the screen in the corner. I don't know how you do this on a phone. I mean, you wouldn't have windows you'd move around. You wouldn't want that. But you need some view for like the town view. And again, you'd only be seeing a slice of it like this maybe because it's a phone screen. So like you have the town view and then maybe you switch over somehow. There's got to be like some UI here. So there are some buttons and maybe one of these is like a battle button and you click that and it swaps to like just one battle or something like that. I don't know. I'd have to think about it a lot more. It's not impossible. It's just a lot of re-envisioning. It's going to be Skella Crossing and we can visit each other's towns. Oh, man. Yeah, but I don't look at the battles, only if they succeed or not. You could just have a status icon. Yeah, but I don't want that to be the case. I really wanted the battles to be there, even if people tend to ignore them. I don't want them to totally forget they exist. Hey, Shade. Maybe buttons, one battle at a time. Yeah. So we could come up with a, sorry, I don't mean to like totally dismiss this, but there's no mobile plan right now, and launch for desktop is in like 4 months, and we have plenty to do. So it's fun to talk about, but I'm not going to be writing this down. I'm not going to be doing anything about it yet. We'd have to just think about this. And by the way, the thing that would convince me to do mobile is like tons of money on desktop. Then I'd be like, okay, maybe we can get more money on mobile now. But if it's any number of dollar signs fewer than this, if we even get this many dollar signs, then that's not okay. Just thoughts and ideas. Yeah. And I just didn't want to, I don't want to like super encourage this conversation because I'm not like truly thinking about it. But welcome to the stream. Play something stupid called Eat Venture. You take some inspiration from Vertical Town, maybe? Eat Venture. Oh, I think I might have played this game before. I think I did. And then something caused me to stop. Is there some like microtransaction garbage at some point? This makes it look like there is. Yeah. Steam Deck? Yeah, Steam Deck I plan on supporting. I think that's going to be one of the big things we do before launch. Hey, on said. Hire out the port. You sip juice from your Capri Sun. Man, I wanted to buy Capri Sun in like game with a friend of mine. I think I'm the only one excited by that idea. One of the very few drinks you drink from a pouch in the US. All right, this is just for money, except for the word tip needs to be there. Maybe we just translate that single word. No, I think I'd want to translate the whole thing in parentheses. I think this is going to look ugly enough as it is. So we put, oh God, this is going to be obnoxious. All right, hang on. Let me do this before I mess this up completely. We could form the string no matter what. There's just no reason to do that. So plus tip amount tip. Okay, so string dot format tr plus 0 tip. This is a notification, I guess, kind of. And then it's tip amount money symbol. Is there a... Wasn't I supposed to have parentheses? Yes, I was. Yeah. And then buy item is what? A game state? We don't have any translation. Okay, now what? Now we just delete this. Okay, so plus the amount of money, and then in gold, plus 0 tip, and then put in the amount there. Yeah, nice. I think it looks pretty good. One house is grilling hot dogs and giving out Capri Sun. That is hilarious. Man, it's funny what people do. I was just saying this yesterday. I really like celebrations like this. Just people getting together and doing something positive. So great. It's bad addicting, but in the larger levels, you have to scroll vertically to see all the stations. Yeah. So instead of multiplayer, how about some global economy? Just pitching ideas so you can experience how fun online dev is. I did online dev. I did 5 years of Botland. What are you talking about? Time to go start cooking dinner. Happy holidays. Yeah, take care, Matt. And thank you. I will still be streaming tomorrow morning, I think. Hey, DR Shore. Okay, anything else in here? No, I don't think so. This was the next line, right? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, this is just the word go on, or words go on. I think we have that in many different places, right? Yes, we do. Okay, so I'd like this to be in one spot. Do we have dialogue strings? No, we don't. Do we have button strings? No. We have some dialogue data, I think, somewhere. Yeah, and this is kind of similar to where I want this. So I'm going to go make building strings. Let's say this is dialogue strings. Rename this dialogue, delete all that. Okay, so this is going to be go on. And it's that dot dot dot. It's in buttons. It is a button, right? It's not a title. No, it's a title. That's no, it's a button. Yeah, it's a button. Okay. Just online PvP. Things get fun when you enter MMO territory. Okay. Yeah. Why many new programmers want to join cybersecurity, then after some time they give up. I know it's off topic, but I want some expert programmer opinion on this. I haven't seen this trend myself, so I don't know that it's actually a trend. If I'm to take this at face value and guess, I don't know how much might have to do with like you have to keep your skills sharp. This is one of those areas where if you don't, then nothing you do will be effective, whether you're on the sort of attack or the defense side of things. So whether you're doing penetration testing or whether you're protecting against this sort of thing, you need to know what the current attacks would be or how you'd go about doing them. And I think it's more like puzzle solving with a lot of tools than it is like how maybe media portrays it as like, I don't know, super hacker. And I don't think this appeals to everybody. So if I had to guess, I'd say that's probably why. And for the people who like this, I think this is like an endless career of fun. Because I heard this. I started my career in, like not really started, I guess, but early on in my career, I was in a security focused area of the company. And I remember talking to someone and they said something like, oh, I forgot exactly how they said it. It was like, when you're in security, you are battling against other humans, not against technology. Like if you're working in rendering, you're fighting against like video card technology. How thin can we get transistors or whatever? What can our manufacturing processes do? How can we optimize the predictive branching or something? Like that's all tech. Those are not people. You're like fighting against silicon almost. But with security, you're fighting against people. And people are smart to go against what they said in Men in Black. So I get that appeal. I think that's pretty cool. It took it for a while. Yeah, I think boring for anything is in the eye of the beholder. Some people might say chess is boring, and then other people are like, I live and breathe chess. And same thing for cybersecurity. I think there are people who just kind of get it and like it. I'm not saying they're not bored by some aspect of their job. They probably are. I don't think any job is perfect, but if you like the bulk of your job, I'd say that's as close to perfect as you can get. All right, so any of these things we would change to dialogue strings dot go on. And we could just do this everywhere in the code base. This would also change. This is somehow not complaining. Because what, we already used another string? No. I don't know about this. I think VS Code is not helping me right now. Let's do this. Let's go save this as our text file so I don't lose this. I'm going to reload VS Code. Chess doesn't look boring. Now when you see Grandmasters play, or Harry Potter, Ron Weasley nearly died. We should go back to talking about harvest festivals. All right, so where did that go on go? Right here. And what, F12 works on that? How? I don't understand. I didn't put this in the right spot for the, oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. Why was this needed then? What if we turn this off? It should make 2 errors in this file, and I only know where one would be. NPC names. Oh, okay, I forgot about that. We're fine. It's just analysis mostly. Well, and even hacking is a lot of analysis. Like, where are the weak points? What attacks could you try? What clues are you getting from what they've exposed to you or what they respond with? It's like identifying different encodings and technologies and what signatures they might have. There's a lot of that. Mostly other people who work in security. Hey, C17R, how you doing? Yeah, a person is smart, people are dumb, panicky animals. Yeah, I remember that quote for a long time. I really like it. Which is why I said I'm saying the opposite of that, saying that people are smart. All right, so a lot of this I'm not going to touch just yet. But we do have all the dialogues to get through, so I should write that down. Make sure we've gone through all of the dialogues. E.g. greetings, etc. Oh, hi, Kat. So you go to a different field, maybe? What do you suggest? You're still around in Microsoft or big tech in general, would you want to enter the AI development field? I don't know. I think the assumption of the question is that I like working in big tech. If I liked working in big tech, well, I don't know. The hypothetical is kind of weird because if I liked it, then I guess it means I like whatever my job currently is. But like why I left it is I don't think I like big tech structure. So yeah, hard to say. Yeah, anyway, I think AI would be interesting enough, yeah. You're gonna come back? Yeah. Good cat. Good little lion. This is Abby. Abby's the best cat. You might think you have the best cat, but you don't have the best cat. I have the best cat. Do you have any suggestions for you to go into instead of cybersecurity? I think you'd have to like you'd have to just generally list areas with jobs, so like game dev, web dev, whatever domain, and then think whether you would like it, and if unknown, try that thing to some extent. Yeah. Hey, Brainoid. I don't know if you got my email, but congrats on launching your game. I've been looking at the reviews. They seem like they're very positive. Seems like things are going well. I hope you're feeling good. My cat Alfie is the best cat. Sorry. I am the one who needs to apologize for having the best cat because Alfie is at best the second best cat. She's purring right now. Is Alfie purring? Huh? 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 Is Alfie purring? Huh? You want to check the number of decibels on the purr? You think your cat's better than my cat? What if this just got unpleasant? Next like half hour, I'm still talking about this. People are like, stop it, Adam. They're already dead. Oh, man. Why I should have stopped streaming long ago. Okay, this is already translated or already localized. Yeah, it's looking good. Oh, that's looking good. I thought I answered you. Sorry, my bad. Oh, no, I totally understand. And I figured I'd eventually see you around Twitch, so yeah, totally fine. Gaslighting chatters. No, gaslighting means you're trying to convince someone something that isn't actually reality, but this actually is reality, that Abby's the best cat. So you can't gaslight someone on facts. There's no opinion in the matter. All right, food value. This doesn't need... Oh, nice. I already did this. Well. Yeah, all this stuff is done. Nice. All right, what about this? Did we do this one? We did do this one. And that's not needed. And that's not needed. And this one is needed. Wait, no. I'd already done this, I thought. What? I thought I did this. Somewhere else in the code base, we have the word off. And, oh, there it is. Okay, well, I guess I did not do that then. So yeah, let's do that. Cool. I think I just got gaslit. No, that actually is okay. So backing up a step, like obviously it's tongue in cheek. that I'm saying Abby's the best cat. That's subjective. But gaslighting, I'm pretty sure, is when you try to convince someone of an alternate reality somehow. So like, oh, that thing didn't happen when it really did, or that thing didn't happen in that way that you thought it happened. But if you say to someone like the water is, 72 degrees, I don't think you can gaslight someone if the water truly is 72 degrees. Like, that's just a fact. All right, this is looking good. That one's done. This is done. This I thought we did too. Why are all these showing up again? Maybe because there was another string somewhere up there and I just scrolled down in the file and did this. I don't recall, but this is a little bit worrisome now that I'm finding so many of these that I had already finished. Oh, no. Did I? Oh, yeah, we're up to 273 things somehow. Oh, no. Okay, then we got to find the last one that we did. So let's just click things until we find it. That one's done. That one's done, so we can ignore all of those. Let's just binary search our way through these. That one's, well, not needed. So I guess let's go farther down. Did I do this? No. Also no. This also isn't done. This isn't needed. I think we're somewhere around here. Yeah, we did this. Okay. Yeah. So here we are. This is where I left off, I think. Yes. Okay, good. We found it. So how many more of these do I have left to do? We're at 86. So I've made no progress since last time. Oh, no. Hey, Pressel. Usually implies that you know you're lying, and in the original case was the purpose of making you doubt reality. Yeah. All right, take care, leave your girl. Best of luck with your positive opportunity. Okay. Also, I didn't see this until now, but this is pretty funny. Okay, guys, let's have a break in here. We all know dogs are better than cats. No. A very compelling argument, one with which I agree. Insane comeback. What a rebuttal. All right, text equals string dot format tr. Won their first battle and found a potion, but where do we sell it? Give first adventurer name. And this is going to be dialogue description. Excuse me. Yeah. Cool. All right, those don't matter. What is this? Probably this stuff is fine. This should really just be format delta, but it's got to be a string. Okay, no, it's okay. Tooltip formatter. What is this thing? Active spells none. This is tooltips. Anything else in here? Active spells. Here it is. Yeah, translate that too, I guess. Yeah, we're good. You have an unspent skill point. Click the adventurers button in the upper left and spend it. This is a tip. Okay. So translate all of that. And then write tips next to it. Now it's happening again. I don't think this is a bad thing necessarily. I mean, that you have some anxiety as a result of it is a bad result. Do you hear that? You hear her meowing? It's like so loud. Anyway, Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing that you're questioning this stuff. And in fact, I think it's pretty good to question things, even if you come to the same conclusion. You're starting to wonder if what you're doing is the right path. And I think there's a lot of uncertainty in the industry right now, especially with AI. So it's worth questioning it. At the end of the day, I think anyone's job or career comes down to so many different variables that really only you can answer. Work-life balance, the team, the impact, the money, the commute, the whatever other number of things you can think of for this. And you'll assign different weights yourself to any of these. This might be like a zero point 0.7, and this is 0.2, and this is 0.9. And so something with a really bad team isn't going to matter too much to you because you're like, well, that's a 0.2 for me. So I think when you're picking the industry you want to work in, there's an article I read somewhat recently about unpacking, mental unpacking. A lot of kids say something like, I want to be a firefighter when I grow up. And I mean, a kid doesn't really know any better, but they can't mentally unpack what it means to do the daily job of a firefighter. And I think similarly, a lot of people can't unpack what it means to be a developer. The media portrays developers in a certain way, but a lot of what my job is, I mean, you see it on stream, so it's a little bit demystified from that. But a lot of it is coding. There's some design work. There's some testing. There's a lot of other things here. And then at the end of it, it's like, what do I derive my fulfillment from? There's some amount of creativity involved, and there's some satisfaction in launching and like satisfying customer desires or requirements. It's like I feel helpful, or like I impacted someone's life positively, and I got to be creative while I'm doing it, and it keeps my brain sharp. So if you're going to try, let's say, I don't know, maybe AI as your field, I think try it out and see how you feel. But there's no guarantee that 3 years from now you don't feel the same way and think, okay, well, I tried that. That wasn't really for me. And that's not a problem. I think there is one effect, though, that could potentially be problematic, which is that a lot of people get pigeonholed in their career into what they started with. So you start as a C# developer. And then I'm really simplifying this. This would probably not happen this way. And then like someday you want to be a C++ developer. And someone looks at your resume and they're like, oh, but you haven't used C++ professionally. They're like, so you can't get the job. Again, simplifying. It wouldn't happen on the language level. But a lot of times with tech stacks, it could happen where people are like, well, you've used, React, but we're a Vue shop here. So how do we know you're going to be able to, I don't know. Just imagine something like that happening. So yeah, some people do kind of go down a certain path just because it was their first job. She's trying to guide me to her food. It is not food time. It is far from food time. We have 49 more minutes for her. But she's out there meowing like I've never fed her in her life. Why does this have to happen daily? I don't even pay attention to her when she's doing this. And yeah, like I said, we feed her well. No, what I wanted this string dot format, translate. I guess I already have a snippet for this anyway. All right, so go plug this in over here. This is in tips. Then we put a comma and do this. Then we get translate. What am I missing here? A return and a semicolon. She's starving. She's dying out there. What a greedy cat. Definitely not the best. I'm gunning for Alfie. Alfie's got some problem over there. By the way, can you share a picture of Alfie in Discord? I'll drop the whole my cat's better than yours. I just like seeing people's cats. I took a picture. Can I share this? Let me see if I can share this. Okay, I'll just cut my face out of this picture. No, I can't cut my face out of this picture. If I do this. Okay, I was laying in bed before the stream, and the cat was doing this on me. She's just laying on the blanket with me. We know what you look like already. Yeah, but not in bed. Although I was wearing the same clothes because it was on my lunch break. I'd love to teach more, but the money isn't really that great. Just not much demand. I am still always surprised at just kind of how society values or doesn't value teachers. It's like everyone needed some way to learn how to get where they are now. And you'd think there'd be more value placed on that. In what channel? Maybe show and tell? Yeah. I wonder if I should just make a pets channel. Okay, so this is done. All right, we have a few more of these. More akin to what doctors are in terms of social value, difficulty, competitiveness. Yeah. Yeah, it's not that way in the US. At least not for, like, I don't know if you call it lower education, but for non-college / university level. I don't think teachers get paid very well, and I don't think they get a lot of respect, and I think it is a shame. I think they're doing such a valuable thing. Yeah. You know what? I should probably turn off. I don't think I've ever liked this functionality where you type a left parenthesis and it automatically types the right one. I don't know why I've never turned this off. I think it's because when you type them both in a row, that it ignores the second one. So it's like I pressed the right arrow here, but I didn't. I pressed right parenthesis. I don't think I want that behavior. How do I change that? Parenthesis. Arrow parens? How do you bracket? Auto closing brackets. Here it is. Language defined. Never. What's before white space? Auto close only when the cursor is to the left of white space. I mean, that might be fine. Let's try that. So now we go back to what this used to be. Oops. Okay, I already changed that one, so let's not do it there. Using static, no translation. Okay, great. Now let's go back to this. So I want to change this. I want to add in translate. Translate. Oh, that's so much better. Yeah, I guess I don't mind it so much, but yeah, that's such a good option. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I never liked that. I don't know why it took me that long to change it. This has been bothering me for at least a year and a half, but probably longer than that. Do you work somewhere else besides working on Skeleseller? No, not right now. Oh, check Discord. Is this Alfie? Oh, Alfie's a cute cat, but Alfie looks a little bit scared. Abby would never look scared. Group of people that literally spend thousands of hours with everyone that will ever grow up in the country. Paid like 60K, I think is actually higher than what a lot of teachers make in the US. But I'm not actually positive about that. Typical academia problems. Yeah, I think the other thing too is if you're in higher education, you might have a research component to your job, and not everyone likes that. Then again, not all researchers like the education component of their job. Kind of makes me wonder why they're both tied to one another. Using is unnecessary. That's not true. Okay, what are we down to now? 48. We are barely scraping by here. I'm running on fumes. A new customer has entered your town. This automatically happens every so often. Yeah, this is another tip. So string dot format translate. I probably don't use translate anywhere in here, do I? No, I don't. Automatically happens every this often. Tips. Now we just find out how many parentheses we need. That's good. Perfect. We should probably translate this one too. We need to remove this at some point. Is this on my to-do list? No. Okay, remove this from the code base. Mentions wishlisting the game. Wait, this is after 45 minutes. We should probably remove this now. And it also happens after 45 minutes. After pruning the demo, we probably don't even have many players left at that point. I like research too. Ambitions. Yeah, so I should just delete this. I'm not going to do it right now. We already have enough going on here. You have enough money to build a town hall. Translate. Tips. I truly wonder if that cat like feels hunger pangs right now. Or is she just like, I'm excited about getting food. I want to eat food. Because I don't want her to feel hunger pangs. But we went to the vet in January and she said the cat could actually stand to lose a little bit of weight. And I was actually surprised by that because we don't like overfeed her or anything. We exercise her quite a lot. So then we cut down the amount of food we gave her by like a half ounce or an ounce or something like that. And I mean, I haven't been to the vet since, but I'm hoping that the vet says, yeah, everything's perfect. Just deal with your whiny cat. Is she fat? No, she's not. She's, yeah. I think she's fine. She's bored probably. Yeah, that might be it. Although sometimes she comes in here and sits on my lap. Do I have a picture of her? Yeah, this is like a, what is that on my, is that in the picture? No, is that on my monitor? What is that? Oh yeah, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, this is what our cat looks like when she's playing. Why didn't you feed her? I just get. All right, what do we have here? Title, description, this is all fine. Oh my god, we can see the bottom of the file. But we have like 5 more files to go through. Some of them are pretty dense looking. Let's start with the least dense ones. So scenario number, whatever, and then the title. Didn't I already did this somewhere. Yeah, right there. Okay, let's format that. I should have taken breaks. I didn't take any breaks this stream in particular. I definitely want to finish this stuff up right now. I am starting to go a little bit nuts. Is this even a tip? It's more like a dialogue title. And then this should just be TR. Dialogue description. Scenario parameters. Format. Good. And then best time. And the medal that you earned. Huh. Best time text. Best time, the time, and then the medal. Now we cut this out of there. Whoops, I forgot the string dot format. Okay, it is that. And that. Cool. And I just forgot the closing curly brace. No, I'm not going to do a proper break. I'm going to get through this file and I'm probably going to end the stream. Did syntax highlighting fail? It did. Can I press F12 on something? Nope. Okay, what's going on with this? Hi cat. Meow. Meow. Hi. Yeah. Oh. Hi. Cat, give me half an hour. It's not even close to your food time yet. Failed to get language for text document diagnostic. Okay, so I think we've finished all of this. Yes. Scenario parameters, yes. Best time, done. Okay, great. So that one's finished. Okay, next up, items inside. TR, items inside, dialog description. This is actually in a tooltip. Then we're fine. Someone's done. Now what's this? That's fine. Click to open this treasure chest, or you can speed up the opening process using keys. So string text. And here text is going to be equal to click to open this treasure chest. This is a tooltip. Sounds good. And then we'll put this down here. And we'll plug in the text. Although at that point, there's no real reason to have a standalone variable for that, huh? Okay. And then same thing with this. Oops. This should say you can speed up the opening process using keys. Good. Those are done. And that's done. All right, so now we have what, 3 files? Okay, let's keep working our way through this. That one's already fine. That one's fine. That one's fine. That's fine. So it's just one string over here. You earn 15 upgrade points for each scenario completed, even repeated scenarios. Spend these before your next run to unlock persistent upgrades. Okay. Why is there an @ sign there? And what is this for? You earn upgrade points. I guess it's a tooltip. Yeah. Okay. Points earned. Good. All right. 2 files left. We're almost done. We're not almost done, actually, but we're close enough. All right, so this is the level and experience and everything. String.format tr 012. That looks good. And then where does this go? Item progress. What is this? Oh, guild supplies. Maybe we say guild supplies. It is kind of a... No, it's not. It's the adventures panel tab. Let's just do that. And then this string. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Yeah, it's just this one. Collect. My God, this is a huge string. Collect number remaining more of a particular item for the guild to further train your adventure name, granting life, power, and then your current bonuses print out. Well, that's hefty. Okay, let's try to do that. So string.format tr. So that's the start of this. Now we copy this over. This will go in Adventurers panel tab. And then we just plug in all of the things. Yep, 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 yep. Yep, yep, yeah. Okay. So then delete this and this. And then change all of these 0. It should know how to change the others based on that. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Good. So now we have formatting characters in here, which I do not like. And this won't work. Note equals that. Huh, interesting. This doesn't have a period at the end of it. Did it before? Yes, it did. But the period wasn't colorful. Huh, interesting. That was a problem. Oh, and the period's right there. Yeah. Oh, it's just yeah, it just should be in the color tag. Otherwise, it's going to be a different color. You can find this item from treasure chest. Interesting. I never noticed that. It was probably a slightly darker color. Okay. Well, yeah. So the note is you can find this item from treasure chest. So then the formatted note, and this needs to be translated. And then the formatted note is going to be string.format. Actually, not even like that, right? Why does this thing have to fail me now? Even the snippets won't work. What a shame. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. Okay. And then just put our note in there. And then figure out why it's not auto-formatting this, because even if I need to restart VS Code, it should still be auto-formatting it. This is the last thing I need to do. Challenge mode objective details. I'll just copy that onto my clipboard. Then we can just reload all of VS Code. And while that's reloading, I will go write this down as the final file. One file left, that. All right, so what happened here? There is a lack of a quotation mark. There we go. Okay, on to the final file. Please do not take forever. So we're just going to search for quotation marks here. That's fine. That's not fine. Yeah. Title, scenario, number, level, +1, yep. And this needs to be in a TR call. And then we need to figure out where this needs to go. I don't know, dialogue description? Yeah. What else? This. Hey, nice. Title label. Time elapsed. Oh, thank goodness AI is lifting some of its weight here. This is the... I don't even know how to write that. This is like in the town menu. Goal, same thing. This is in the town menu. 0:P1. That's not how that works. Actually, is it? Can I do that? Oh God, if I can. I'm gonna feel like such a fool. I never even tried, and I'm not gonna even exercise the brain power right now to think about this. I just want to be done with this. Cat won't stop meowing. All right, you have some number of minutes left. This is a notification. You have 0 minutes left to earn 1 if you want a medal, num minutes, and gold needed string. Yeah, and this goes into notifications. Cool. And then just this stuff down here. All right, so I'm pretty sure we have this exact same string somewhere else. Let's take a look at this. String.format scenario, number 1, dialogue description, level +1 title looks good. Scenario parameters 0. That's the difficulty. Constraint string. Good. Then there should be some new lines. All right, I'm just going to accept this, and then we're going to look at what it used to be, because it probably messed something up. Yeah, so this is what we used to have. I want to make sure we still have that. So that looks good. 2 new lines. Then the scenario parameters. Constraint string. Good. 2 new lines. Then current cumulative gold. That's good. Then 1 new line. Then target cumulative gold. And then 1 new line. And then target time. And this is not translated. So we just need that to be translated. Target time, yeah. And then a new line at the end. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we finished everything. Let's try building. Let's check in. Let's fill out the journal. Let's do all the cleanup stuff. Now you might think, okay, cool, he's translated or gotten every string out of the code base and into translation files. No, I have not. And we're actually still pretty far from that. What I did is I found every single string in the code base that had a $sign before it. But now we need to find all the ones that don't have a $sign before it. And even some of the ones with $signs I didn't translate yet because they just felt like they'd be annoying. So yeah, I have a lot more to do. But it built. Let's go look through the files. Just going to do this super fast. At some point, I'll have to read through everything in the game again. I'll need to try out pseudo-localization. Yeah, like any of this stuff could be broken and I wouldn't know. Just taking a quick look through to see if anything stands out. No. Okay, localize more of the game. I believe this should be almost all of the remaining strings that had a $sign before them. Git push. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's copy this stuff into my stream of consciousness note. I still want to save this. There. The prompt I use to get skills to be translated by AI. Not translated, like a localized, I guess. All right, so these still need to be done. Well, that's that. That is that. I'm going to go find someone to raid. I'm going to go play with this cat. That's weird. What happened? Hang on a second. There we go. All right, what time is it? Yeah, it's 3:40. I think I streamed for longer than I normally do today. No, actually, I did not. No, yeah, I did. Just a tiny bit. No, I still don't know how to add numbers. Never mind. Oh, man. I gotta go. I just gotta go. Who do we raid? Let's raid iRed Dev. Okay, take care, everyone. I will be back tomorrow morning, at least. And it'll just probably be a morning stream. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here for the most boring stream in the world. I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.